I don't think university is for everyone. Trying to push people to do university just because that's what their parents want.
It's good to read about a woman who is doing exactly what she wants on her own terms without a man telling her to do it. She is doing it.
Stories, labels, misconceptions. NHS remains a blessing. Created in 1948. We want it to remain great. A podcast where we share our stories, explore solutions in all their glories. They say it's broken, but it's not done. With your hosts Val, Barrett, and Dr. Jeremy and the Son.
Welcome to Stories, Labels and Misconceptions with me, Val Barrett.
And I'm Dr. Jeremy Anderson.
This week we thought we'd do something different. Dr. Jeremy and I have each chosen a story, something that's caught our attention, and we're going to break it down the way we do best, looking at the human story, the labels attached and the misconceptions that follow. Because it's never just about the headlines, it's about what lies underneath them.
A story I read this week on the BBC website was about university students are feeling let down by a lack of mental health support. What they point out is that the demand for mental health services, particularly among youth, among millennials and Gen Z, has skyrocketed. They talked about the demand quadrupling in a decade. They show a chart in the article showing the number of students in higher education with mental health issues by academic year. In 2014 or 15, it was 33,500. By 23-24, it was 122,000. Massive numbers of students struggling with mental health concerns. And that raises a whole bunch of questions. Number one is, why is this? Why are the university students doing so poorly, and why does it seem to get worse? I don't know if there's any firm answers, lots of speculation. What would be your guesses, Val, about what's causing an uptick in the number of students saying they need mental health support?
Don't forget, we're coming off COVID.
Yeah.
So that still has its impact today.
Yeah.
It still does.
One thing they talked about was this crop of students did some of their schooling under lockdown. That's affecting their ability to move on to higher education, interacting with people, public speaking.
Yeah.
There may have been situational stressors unique to this generation, but also an increase in diagnoses of ADHD, so attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. There's a skyrocketing increase in people being diagnosed with autism.
Why do you think some people find it hard to believe that there is an actual rise, or they believe that people are self-diagnosing? Because it's really weird you're talking about this today. So I read something a friend put up on Facebook. It was about ADHD and autism.
Yeah.
So,
it's been suggested the rate of the condition hasn't changed. People are just self-diagnosing. In some ways,
we're aware.
So the rate of the illness was always this high. It was just getting missed.
Yes.
Right? So maybe we're just more aware of it now. Maybe that's why we're catching it where we wouldn't have before. It's also true that in the last 10 years, with the revision of the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual for mental disorders, they redefined what autism is. Autism is now a spectrum. And the sense is that it's actually easier to get a diagnosis of autism than it used to be because we've changed the diagnostic criteria.
When we talk about things like that, I remember growing up, there was an elderly man. They used to say he was slow.
Yeah.
And I realised they didn't have a name for it.
Yeah.
So what my friend was trying to say is, he's always been there.
Yeah.
We use words like lazy, slow, doesn't know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
Can't look you straight in the eyes. Then we've got this generation, we're more clued up, we're more aware. But it's not that I think it's probably risen, the awareness
Yes.
is there.
So,
People are more inclined
yes,
to get a diagnosis.
the stigma associated with mental health has declined enormously. When you and I were growing up, to get diagnosed with a mental condition
Yeah.
was, you really didn't want, that was almost an insult to suggest that there's
Yeah.
something wrong with you mentally. In the current generations, they talk about very openly about having a mental health condition. And so people are willing to go and get assessed and get a diagnosis. And
Yeah.
in addition, there's more treatment available. Once a student has a diagnosis, they're supposed to get accommodations, right? So if they have an attention problem or a concentration problem, they should be getting, I don't know, extra time in exams.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
some flexibility with deadlines.
Yeah.
Or help with note taking.
Yeah.
Right? So what that means is that there actually is an incentive for students to actually seek out the diagnosis to get the help to make sure that they do as well as they can in university. If they have a bona fide condition,
Yeah.
they should get that help.
Well,
But I just think that there's just many factors that are contributing to people seeking out and getting diagnoses way more than they used to.
Perhaps the universities are overwhelmed.
They said in the article, hey, we're not the NHS. We're not a mental health service. We're not trained for this. Why are we, as a tutor or someone, an instructor, why are we expected to be treating people as though we're psychologists or psychiatrists? That's not our job.
That's the bottom line. Whose responsibility is it? No one takes responsibility. It's left unchecked.
Yeah, I think universities are doing what they can. They have some funding, but not a lot, for treating people's mental health conditions.
But then if you were in education, say in primary or secondary school, you'd have a statement. My son's statement took him all the way through his education.
Right.
So when he went off to college, we had a new psychologist come to visit him, and he still got the care.
Yeah.
If the course was too big, they would chop it down. Instead of doing it in 1 year, he would do it in 3. So there was still that care at college level to help get him through the course.
Yes.
Do you see what I mean? I assumed they did the same thing at university. So the question could be, those suffering mental health or ADHD at university, were they statemented at school? There's all changed now. Is it
Maybe not.
ECHP? If not, what route do they take?
Yeah. A lot of the conditions may not have emerged in childhood. So there's a lot of mental health conditions like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, might show up between the ages of 17 and 25. So the window in which these disorders emerge is right when people go to university.
Yeah.
So they haven't had a prior assessment. They're coming to university. Everything should be fine. They develop a condition. Or if, let's say, they graduated what I would call high school, what would you call it? Sixth form.
Yeah.
During lockdown, they don't have a lot of experience giving presentations or speaking in front of a group, but now they go up to university and now they have to give a speech in front of the class.
Exactly.
And
Because education in this country hasn't changed.
now they have to do this and didn't know it. They've got social anxiety, fear of public speaking. It's debilitating and they don't want to do it. The university isn't set up to help. I've had to write letters for some patients who start university and because of a physical health condition or a mental health condition, they're not able to participate in their class in some way.
Yeah.
And I was a bit surprised coming from Canada because every university has these disability accommodation student centers, and they're set up to give out accommodations. And the idea of getting deadlines extended or rewrites for things, it's fairly standard, right?
Yeah.
And what I found, the response I was getting back from university administrators was, no, this person needs to withdraw from the class and try again next year when they get themselves sorted.
Yeah.
And the problem is if you have a chronic health condition or a long-term mental health condition,
that isn't going to get sorted within a year.
It's about the person saying, I'm going to be so much better in next year.
Yeah.
It's about just giving them the flexibility to get through the program.
Then another question could be, is university for everyone? Is it not inclusive? University is a choice. It's not compulsory, not like school.
No.
In school, they have special needs education, send teachers, you got extra support, you get the statement. University is a choice if you choose to pursue that route. So that's probably why it's not set up like school.
Yeah, I take the point. I'm on record as saying I don't think university is for everyone. Trying to push people to do university just because that's what their parents want, but they really don't want to be there. That's just a waste of time and money.
And on top of that, they can't even get a job.
Yeah.
No experience of working. So would you, if you were hiring and you had 2 applications, one person, all their life, they've just gone through education, but never worked, got brilliant grades. And another one never went on to further education, but has got good grades at, at A levels and whatever. Yeah. But has got loads of work experience, knows how to communicate, know how to give presentation, can work on their own, can do all of those things that we look for in the workplace. Who would you go for?
Well, I can tell you who I did go for. When I've hired people, I've often hired people who maybe went to university as a mature student. So they went and worked for a bit, but then they decided, okay, I know what I'm interested in now. I've developed some skills, and now I'm going to college or university. They did it from a place of having actually had some life experience and some work experience. Yeah. Of course, you're going to go for the more experienced person.
The one who's got the life experience worked, even though the other one has done what our government used to say, education, got their heads down, brilliant marks, and can't get a job. Yeah.
And just to close the loop on this idea of, I don't think university is for everyone, but I wouldn't say that the presence of a mental or physical disability is the reason that university is not for you. I'm not saying it's not for people with disabilities. I think there's lots of people who are brilliant and deserve, and we need those people to go to universities. Like somebody with autism or Asperger's syndrome, but they're a fantastic mathematician or computer scientist. Like, I want those people to work on AI, cure cancer, or fix the world.
You've got all different types of students.
Yeah.
But I think we have to be realistic. Yeah. Do you need to go to university? Do you want to go to university because you think it's going to give you a leg up and get you a better job? Or because your parents think it's best? I think those days are over. Back in the day, Caribbean women went into nursing. Right. Nursing was a route for them. I remember this woman telling me, her mum said, do nursing. It's a route in, and you can then expand and do other things within health. There's a lot of Caribbean women high up in the NHS because they took that route. People nowadays can get a good job because of nepotism. I don't even think it went away. We're always going to have the old boys network, old girls club, as certain groups. Who is related to who? Who went to university with who? You can get the best grades ever, and you still don't end up where you are supposed to be because life is unfair. It is. And it always will be. That's the thing. I was watching an interview the other night, Kemi Badenoch. And I thought it was awful. Have you seen it?
No.
I thought it was terrible. I thought you will never be Prime Minister.
She was terrible? The interview was terrible? Or both?
She
was terrible.
I don't know who advised her to give the response that she did. She doesn't look presidential.
Ministerial,
When you look at leaders around the world, you think, on the world stage, how do they fit in? It's like she's got no common sense. She was mixing up her identity and culture, and I thought, did you really think that I no longer identify as Nigerian? That made no sense. Absolutely no sense. And I've noticed that people with no common sense and no personality have to try and identify with what they think the people want them to be.
Yeah.
And then you've got Nigel Farage. He's
Right.
just Nigel Farage.
So we're talking about politicians.
No, but I'm just talking about sometimes how people are. Just because they've got the best grades doesn't mean it's just your grades. It's you as a person. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we're living in a time where people are trying to fit in and be everything to everybody else. You just can't. She's not authentic. You want someone who is just themselves, whether you agree with them or like them. I know she went to university and worked really hard at school, but something else is missing. Do you see what I mean? Something else is missing. I think she's probably in the wrong job. That's probably it. I don't know. And I don't know if that makes sense with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think whether you do have a condition or you don't, is university right for you? I know some people can walk into an interview and talk themselves in and they don't have anything.
Yes.
And another person is everything and I can't talk. Sometimes we're working on the wrong thing.
People can look good on paper, but then they come into the interview and you just have a sense, I do not want to work with this person.
No.
Right.
I think the way our education system is set up is just about application and testing. And there's nothing about emotional intelligence. There's nothing about making a rounded person to carry on their lives outside of school. So I'm not going to be walking around reciting my maths test. It's just ridiculous. Unless you want to be a doctor, a psychologist, a nurse, then yes, university is right. I wouldn't want a doctor operating on me that's only worked in a fruit and veg stall. I want to know he has the right grades and done the right course. Sometimes, I don't know if we get it into our heads that to get on in life, you've got to go to university and own a house or we haven't made it. Haven't you noticed that about the British?
Yeah, I did notice Canada's a bit like this too, but in Britain, I really did get a sense with a lot of my patients that the importance of uni. And I would ask them questions like, what are you studying? What are you interested in? What degree do you want? What interests you about university? And a lot didn't really know. They just wanted to go because their friends were going, because their parents wanted them to, or it was the thing to do. Or it was kind of perceived as a cultural experience of going away for years and living on your own. That experience part is good, but there's a lot cheaper ways of having an experience like that than going to university. If university is really not for you, if that's not what you're interested in, I think there's probably better, more productive ways to have a couple of years living on your own. Travel, go abroad, work abroad, volunteer, do something.
I think that's one of the great experiences when you're young, before you settle down, have kids, buy a house, go experience life. Pack your things in a backpack. My wigs couldn't fit in one of those, but travel. Do all those wonderful things
I think that's
instead
great.
of being saddled with such debt. But don't forget, at my age, we didn't pay for university.
Yes.
Their parents didn't pay. The people who are in the cabinet didn't pay.
Yeah.
But this generation has...
Maybe that circles back to stress level. In these courses, it's much bigger, much more competitive now, much more expensive now, and they know that the jobs are not there. So there's a lot of anxiety. What am I going to do when I finish? I've got a huge debt. How am I going to pay for it? I think that would increase your stress level.
And they can't afford to do, what's that called? An intern.
An internship. Yeah.
You can't afford that. I remember, I think it was Tony
Yeah.
Blair picked up the phone to some bank owner, his son. Now, you can afford to do an internship because your family has resources, because you're not paid for that. So
An
imagine
internship is not paid
having
for, yeah.
your CV. We will always have that inequality, even to do an internship.
Unless we said internships need to be paid.
Then that doesn't mean an internship, does it?
You could call it a paid internship would be someone who's starting with a company, they're learning, they don't have a whole lot of experience, but this is their work experience, and they're given certain lower level tasks with the idea that this is part of their learning process, but they're also paid to be there.
Yeah, that's hard. But
yeah.
No matter how we slice it and dice it,
Mm-hmm.
we live in a very unequal society. The more you talk about it, you realize how bad it is.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that hard to
Yeah.
want to go to university. It shouldn't.
No.
It shouldn't be. After all, that's the generation that are going to be probably running the world. We could have a scientist there that's going to find the next cure for whatever illness. Do we really look after the next generation as much as we should?
Mm.
We're focused so much on who's already doing what. They're not going to be here forever. They always say a good manager gets the one below him ready to step into his or her shoes.
Yeah.
Do we have the next generation ready to take over Britain, ready to, whether it's technology, whether it's government, civil service? Are they equipped? Not just talking about equipped like grades. Are they able to work with people? Are they able to negotiate? Are they able to do presentation? Are they able to speak with other governments? It's a lot.
Yeah.
You hear civil servants have been around for decades, but you're not going to be in there forever. So who's stepping into your shoes?
Exactly.
Oh, we need to prepare them better. But what we can't have is a generation of adults leaving university, not just with debts, but with more mental health stress. Because that's not going to help anyone, because then they talk about benefits, help people on benefits. So it doesn't help. As we said, one cost, one thing goes to, it just goes to another.
Exactly.
So wouldn't it be cheaper to have something in place in universities, knowing what the country has been through when it comes to COVID, even if somebody didn't suffer from mental health before? COVID was hard.
Yeah, that is one thing they mentioned in the article. Some approaches would be, we need to increase initiatives to improve student well-being and manage stress, because these are the things that are contributing to a lot of the conditions students are developing. If we want to get a handle on that, we need to try to prevent some of the harm. That was my article.
The label for that is, I think people think overdiagnosed. So I heard a politician say something similar.
Yeah.
On the news, they're overdiagnosed. They can't possibly be all suffering. So you have that.
Yeah. The misconception is that there is one factor. It's not. There's many factors to explain the increase in diagnosis. So it could be that some people are overdiagnosed, or it's also the case, like we talked about before, that we're noticing these things where maybe we didn't bother to diagnose before for one reason or another. So that's the misconception with that story.
So a misconception that any adult who has ADHD doesn't want to go to university.
Yeah.
Or couldn't do it. And this is probably why universities aren't equipped to deal with them.
Exactly.
Okie dokie.
What story this week caught your eye?
This story I saw in my favourite paper, I love the Daily Mirror. I grew up on it. I forgot what day it was because I've ripped it out. The headline was, I'm 64 and have a lover who I meet up with every Sunday for fun. All older people should enjoy sex.
Okay.
Wow. You go, girl.
Okay, it's a woman.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a woman. Her name is Suzanne Noble. I can say her name because it was in the paper. So I'm not outing anyone.
Okay.
She's 64 years old and stunning. She looked very happy. The first thing I saw was her smile. She's got kids.
Mm-hmm.
She's been married. She's had long-term relationship. She's probably at that age where, you know, she doesn't want any more relationships.
No. Yeah.
She calls them a situationship. Now, I've heard of that word once before. Have you heard of that word?
No, that's the first time I've heard of that. So it's not a relationship. Okay.
We meet to have sex, basically.
Okay.
Or not. Whatever they want to do.
Okay.
She's in one now. She said she wanted freedom with a touch of emotional intimacy, but not something that's going to be emotionally draining.
Okay.
But then I wouldn't think anybody would want that in any relationship.
I think every relationship, certainly there's going to be periods in any long-term relationship where you feel emotionally drained. And that may not be any reflection on how good or bad the relationship is. It might just be, I don't know what this woman's background is, but if you have a partner who dies of a condition.
Yeah, she's had that.
And you've been caring for that person up until the point they die, emotionally draining. But also very rewarding. And it's not that you regret putting in that effort. That might be one of the most meaningful things in your life, but you also wouldn't want to repeat it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
She calls it a situationship. I think it's been 2 years since they've had their connection.
Okay.
It's grown not into a conventional relationship, but into a mostly physical one.
Okay.
I wonder, is it him serving her mostly or her serving? I don't know, but it could be something that benefits both, but both value their independence. Like she's the type of woman that and she's gone. She's on a plane and she's gone. I love that. I do. I love it. And it said that when she was growing up, because her parents had been married for 65 years. Mm-hmm. And one thing she learned from their relationship, even though they were a couple, they were both independent of one another. Her mother would go off and do her thing, what she liked, and so would her dad. Not on about other partners, but other hobbies or whatever. Right. And I think sometimes some people in some relationships, they rely on that partner for everything.
Yes.
For their entertainment, they rely on their partner to socialize. Yeah. They don't have anything outside of that.
Yeah, and that's not really a traditional view, the idea that my partner has to fulfill all of my needs.
Oh, no.
But there is the idea, rather, that you have a relationship with someone. Let's say you're married, have kids together, and you relate on that level. But there's any number of areas of your life in terms of your work or how you socialize or what you like to do on your day off, whether that's sports or fishing, quilting or knitting, that might not include the other person. That's not a problem. You don't have to spend every waking moment with your partner.
And she also said, we're friends first. So there is a connection. We go round to eat, chat, and occasionally have fun. No pressure, just openness. I don't know if it's an age thing, but I wouldn't think you want any stress at that age. You've raised your kids. She's had deaths from 2 long-term partners. So she's experienced that. And
okay.
It's her time.
And she's probably had enough grief.
And she's also a naturist and often visit beaches spots across the UK where nudism is allowed.
Oh, okay.
So she's very body positive.
Yeah. She's not just, she likes the woods. She's a nudist.
She sounds fun.
Yeah.
She really does. She's living life on her terms.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what she's doing. More power to her. She's doing exactly what she wants, how she wants it, when she wants it. At any age, you deserve that. As you get older, it's even better. I looked online. What did I find? A study. And this is age over 70. So we've got something to look forward to. 54% of men over the age of 70 were still sexually active.
Really? Okay.
And 31% of women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's interesting what you say about this woman living life on her own terms, more power to it. It reminded me of one of my years of training. So I took a course in the psychology of women. It was basically feminist psychology.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only male to ever complete the course. So I was the only guy in the class. I do remember one of the exercises that we did was the instructor gave us a number of kind of descriptions of individuals, of 20 different people. And our job was to rank them in terms of the order in which we admire or respect that. And I remember one of the scenarios was about a woman, like this woman in the article you're saying. She's having situationships and she's honest. She's clear about what she wants from people, but she's not seeking marriage or long-term. At that time, I was very young. I was just coming up from really conservative Christian upbringing. And so I ranked that person very low. And I was actually shocked. I was the only guy in the class. I was shocked that there were people in the class who ranked that person number one. That was the most admirable. The point of the exercise was to show that different people have really different ideas about morality or common sense, and it was just the importance of recognizing like what you think is obvious and everyone agrees with me is not true. People have very different opinions, but they have very different experiences. I would say that was a formative moment when I realized people have really different views. My own views have changed in that regard. So, but that's very interesting. What was it about the article that caught your eye?
I think the age thing is good to read about a woman who is doing exactly what she wants on her own terms without a man telling her to do it. She is doing it. She's taking charge of herself, her mind, body, and soul. It's liberating. It really is.
And have we talked on the podcast about Halle Berry? She might be promoting products or a book regarding menopause because she's gone through menopause. Were we talking about that?
No.
So a few months ago, Halle Berry was on Trevor Noah's podcast talking about menopause. The assumption is that when women hit menopause, sex just stops. The story is with hormone replacement therapy and different exercises and stuff she does, and understanding the way people's bodies change. It's entirely possible for women to have sex after menopause, and it can be really good.
And you'd know that because you are a woman who's been through menopause. It's the fact you said, I'm very good.
I'm owning Halle Berry.
Don't forget, I can see your face.
I'm not, I know. You're making me blush, Val. So I'm not claiming to speak from personal experience with menopause, but according to Halle Berry, it's very good after menopause.
I'm going through the menopause. But this woman, as we know, when it comes to health, sex is good for you.
Yes, absolutely.
And raises your mood.
It reduces pain. Anything that gets your endorphins going will help with pain. If you have chronic pain, it's one of the things I used to recommend in my pain management classes.
Really?
Is
a dose of sex.
I would ask participants in the group, what do you do to help with your pain? And some people, it was painkillers, but this one woman, I think she was a stunt woman who got injured on a movie set, said, I use sex. That's how I help with my pain. There's scientific evidence to show
I didn't know that
increasing your endorphins will help with your pain.
There is a rise in STIs in older people, especially in care homes. Especially in care homes.
Don't discriminate by age.
They don't discriminate. Exactly.
It's not just the young people.
There was a program I watched. I think the word Halifax was in it. I can't remember.
Okay.
The couple that found each other in later life.
Okay.
And I think it was that show where this line that the woman said, I thought the next man to touch me would be the Undertaker. And I thought, what a brilliant line.
Oh.
Because you do.
Yeah.
I know what my misconception is. Young people think us older, I'm not in my 60s yet, that older people don't want sex or shouldn't be having sex.
Misconceptions about sex.
There is around older people.
We need
Some
to get
people think, oh, it's disgusting. Why is it this bloody disgusting? How do you think you were born?
Yeah.
Young people think they invented the thing.
Yeah.
And only they should have it. Young, beautiful people should be the only ones having sex. No, get over yourselves. We are all different body types, all different ages, all different ethnicities. And the majority of people are enjoying a life full of sex, especially older. And there is nothing wrong with that. It's keeping them healthier. It's keeping their mood up.
Yeah.
But it's good for them. There's no age. Why are you worried about that? Why do people find it weird? Because when I started the menopause, I don't know whether to say this.
Yeah.
I always thought that was it. Poof. It stops. And I used to think, why am I looking at him? Why do I feel this? I was shocked. Because I was told it stops. You don't desire it. You don't want it. It just goes. And no, it doesn't. It may for some, but for others, when I read, it was the best thing that happened.
Yeah.
Not all young people are having sex. We have a community of young people that don't think it's just for the young. When you get older, you're not so hung up on your body, on how it looks. You've embraced all those lumps, bumps, scars. You know what you like.
Yep.
You know what you don't like. And you will say that.
Yeah.
You know yourself better. You know your body better. And that's why probably older people are enjoying it. They asked this woman a question. She was in a care home. And they said to her, what's the one thing you regret? She said, I didn't have sex with different men. Because she grew up in the era, it was just one man and she went through a,
This is a different person you're referring to? Not the
the different woman.
Okay.
No, so some people do actually regret that they didn't have more sex.
This is a huge topic because there's lots of aspects of our culture and other cultures that restrict sex and sexual access. There's whole fields of psychology and other areas of science, anthropology that talk about human sexual behavior. Yeah.
And we are labelled, I'm putting we in there because I'm on the verge of 60, old fuddy-duddies or old grannies and granddads. And we just sit at home knitting or looking after the grandkids. And they've packed their bags and they've gone.
Yeah.
They've looked after their kids. They've done the school run. All that anxiety trying to find a school place. Now it's their time. So good on her. Might be joining you soon.
Good.
So what are yours? What's your labels and misconception?
For this one, we talked about this idea of being a senior, right? An older person.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest misconception is that older people, can't or shouldn't have sex or want sex.
Yeah.
That's not true.
You wait. You will come back to this in 10 years' time.
Okay.
And talk about our own experiences.
Very good, Val.
Thank you. That's it for this week's episode. If you liked our stories, let us know. If you've got any of your own, let us know. Follow us on our socials. Please subscribe.
No.
Toodles.
Okay. Bye-bye now.